Dr. Geetha Raju is a Senior Policy Analyst for AI and Data Science at the Center for Responsible AI, IIT Madras, where she leads critical research at the intersection of AI technology, society, and policy, with a PhD in Information and Communications Engineering from Anna University. Dr. Geetha specializes in a socio-techno-legal approach to AI governance, focusing on building safe, responsible, and trustworthy frameworks tailored for India and the Global South. She also contributes her expertise internationally as a research group member at the Center for AI and Digital Policy, focusing on global AI policy standards. Her recent impactful work includes the development of an AI incident reporting framework for India, which has been directly cited in India's National AI Governance Guidelines published by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Currently, her research is focused on creating robust tools and frameworks for identifying, assessing, and mitigating AI-related risks, ensuring ethical innovation and safe adoption across sectors. Her technical expertise also extends to natural language processing and data privacy, with a specialized focus on personal information disclosure and digital safety. Prior to joining CeRAI, the Center for Responsible AI, Dr. Geetha held pivotal roles within state and central government bodies, notably the Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency and the India AI Mission at the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. In these capabilities, she contributed to developing and implementing fundamental national and state-level strategies and AI-powered e-governance applications that streamline the delivery of government initiatives. A recognized voice in the field, Dr. Geetha was featured in the India AI Expert Talk series and serves as a keynote speaker for global forums focused on responsible AI governance. Most recently, she was an invited speaker at the AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi, where she led high-level discussions on enterprise AI adoption, the responsible governance of AI, and the future of localized large language models. Over to you, madam. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Saroja ma'am, for having me here. Just a very fundamental question before I jump into the formal presentation. So how many of you trust your friends? எவ்வளோ பேருக்கு உங்கள் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் மேலே ரொம்ப நம்பிக்கை இருக்குது? Everyone. How many of you trust AI systems, right? So, for example, so in WhatsApp you have this Meta agent which can talk to you, right? So, how many of you have tried it and felt that it's trustworthy to share all my personal information? Suppose if I'm depressed, எனக்கு மனசு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது, நான் யார்கிட்ட சொல்கிறதுன்னு தெரியல, வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் போயிட்டு அந்த மெட்டா ஏஜென்ட் கிட்ட பேசலான்ட்டு எவ்வளோ பேர் பேசியிருக்கீங்க? நோ. ஓகே, good. This is a very first crowd that I actually heard no for someone not talking to a meta agent, right? So that's good. That's really good. I see a lot of students here. So how many of you use AI like ChatGPT or Perplexity for your assignments?
Everyone should put up your hands. I know all of you.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, of course. Even we also use AI for all our presentations, right? So we do use, but how much of it is ethically allowed? Do we have any policies in place which will say you should not consume AI more than this? We don't have in India, right? So in general, universities can come up with some policies, but we need more strong approach in controlling the use of AI here. Slides. Okay. Yeah, you can. Yeah, so just a quick glance of what we can cover in this session is that first I'll talk about how AI consumer landscape in India is evolving, and then what are all the AI incidents that is happening across the globe and in the Indian context, followed by how are risk assessments happening and how do we discover and manage risk in the AI perspective, followed by some policies for responsible AI governance in India. So, yeah, next slide. This is just a depiction of how a day with AI in my life looks like, right? So, morning I wake up and I see some personal news feeds which are again AI generated, AI based recommendations that we get. And then if I want to book an Uber, there are these dynamic pricing mechanisms which are actually created with AI capabilities and all, right? So from morning till evening or till I go to sleep, there is some influence of AI that is happening in my life. And how are we managing it, and how are we actually being aware of all these influence that is indirectly fed on us, right? So next slide. Yeah, so in India, we have AI adoptions happening in all critical sectors. So Indian government has identified healthcare, education, agriculture, law enforcement, banking and financial sectors to be the high priority sectors where they wanted to adopt AI and enable productivity and efficiency of their service deliveries and all. So there are a lot of personal assistants that are coming up in the healthcare side. There are telemedicines which are AI powered and helping out people in rural regions and all, right? So now recently we at IIT Madras have initiated, signed an MOU with the Ministry of Education for AI-enabled education systems in India. So that initiative is called Bodhan.ai. So there is lot of adoption that is happening from the AI perspective. Yeah, next slide. So there are systems that use AI, but how many of it is publicly disclosed? Are we aware that we are using AI systems? Can you name out some of the AI systems that you have used, apart from ChatGPT's, Gemini and all? Any other AI systems that you use? Yeah, apart from the large language models. Chat. Okay. Then? Okay. What are all the impacts of it? Have you thought about it? So if a decision goes wrong, or if a outcome of AI systems goes wrong, what happens? Suppose if we take some facial recognition systems that are used in Yatra sites, right? So it can actually deny someone entering into an airport. Can deny your travel because it has misrecognized you, right? So those type of issues happen. And globally, there is a very big race, like more than 56% of AI incidents have occurred in just 1 year, right? So initially, it was around 30% of AI incidents, according to the AI adoption that has been in reality. But just within 1 year, as the large language models came into picture, there is this hike of 56% of AI harms that is propagating from the AI models. And if you see, there is a very high percentage of issues that are coming up because of data leaks. So data privacy is one of the biggest issue that we can see here, because there is a lot of personal information that is involved in your training data for all these AI models, and also on the decision making, like how are these personal data being impacted or being leveraged while making some decisions. Similarly, as a professor mentioned, we have all other issues like deepfakes, bias, and algorithmic and systematic issues that are part of the design and development process here. Yeah, next. So this is, so these are all some examples of what happened around the globe. So in UK, the black or dark-skinned women were denied and the passport applications were rejected because the AI model was not able to recognize, and it said that their eyes were closed or mouths were too open. So this is the issue because the models were only trained on the Western data sets or the fair white people, right? So this is one issue. Next slide. Similarly, so professor also mentioned about hallucinations, right? It created fake information which actually sounded true, and people believed that there was a destination called Melbourne in Australia, and people started traveling there, and they found that there was no such place, right? So it had actually created a lot of frustration for people who were traveling around the world. Yeah, next slide. This is something on operational risk. So there was a vending machine installed in the Wall Street Journal headquarters, and it actually misinterpreted the instructions that people gave to it, and it automatically dispensed all the sales and stocks that it had, and it actually led to a lot of financial loss to the organization. So it is now more important to be more careful about what you talk or what you feed into the AI models as instructions or prompts. One of the interesting things is that now, how many of you are AI coders here? How many of you code Python or Java, whatever? No? It's not, you don't have any barriers now. So there is this concept called low code, no code platforms or vibe coding, where you just have to tell that this is a problem that I have to solve. Can you do it using Python, or can you do it using some Node.js, some scripts, right? So it'll just let you do it. So you have to just approve, saying that, can I execute this model? Can I install this package in your system will be the question. And if you say yes, it'll help you run all these things. So now you actually don't need full stack developers who is expected to know all different technologies and tech stacks, right? But there is a very critical problem. So if you are able to communicate the problems, yes, well and fair, you can deploy systems, but if there is some issues, how will you go and debug it? That is possible only when you know the logic. That is possible only when you know what is the technology is all about, how are the packages made, how are the libraries built. So all the fundamentals of programming, I think everyone should learn, just to be ahead of some policies. If it comes, say that there is, people should not use, all the employees should not use AI coders or AI agents in workplace, right? So now people are widely using all these things, and a lot of decision-making issues are coming up, right? So all these things are something people are over-relying on AI systems, believing that I don't need a technical expertise to perform some task, but on a larger vision, longer term, I think it is more essential to build more grounding expertise on all these things. Yeah, next. So all these things we saw in professional settings, right? So now parents are allowing children to use these systems for either learning or some other gaming purposes. So as Professor mentioned, this character AI has actually leaked a lot of chat histories with sensitive information, which has caused some privacy issues, and it has given some violent responses and disturbing responses like self-harm and all. So how do we control it? Safeguards will happen only after deployment, right? So how do we ensure that all these safeguards are part of the design process? So that is the most fundamental question which all these deployers and model creators should be aware of. Next slide. So have you seen any of AI incidents in India like these things? Have you experienced some of these, or any other thing apart from all these things? Because India is widely diverse in terms of language, culture, socio-economic backgrounds, and digital divides, and all other infrastructural gaps that we have, right? So what is possible in Chennai cannot be possible in Salem or some tribal areas. But still we have to cover all those marginalized regions and populations to deliver at scale. Yeah, next. You can go to next slide. Yeah, so these are all some highly quoted AI incidents that happened in India. For example, there was an interesting deepfake video about our finance minister recommending some financial investments which actually had a lot of reach in people, and people have litigated it to courts and all, right? So these things happen, and Google Maps hallucinated something, and people went, and it was not there, and yeah. So how do we discover? So all these things happen. Incidents are reported only after all these harms are propagated to humans, right? So how do we discover before it happens? That is, do we have any well-defined mechanisms? Yeah, next slide. So in general, Professor has given you an idea about how to build an AI system, right? Right from data collection part, you design it, and then you train a model, and then you test it against certain conditions, and then you deploy it in some deployment environments. Do we have to assess some risk during data collection? Or is it fine if we can do it only at the end after deployment? Any guesses? I think we have to do it right from the data collection process, so that we are sure about the representational bias that is not happening, like the concept which I mentioned earlier, right? So the data set had only white people, so that it failed in recognizing black people. So those issues will be solved only if you have proper data representations, balanced data representations in your training data set, which actually starts during your data collection phase. So similarly, so before deployment, right, all these incidents are treated as AI risk. So during deployment, we call it as AI hazard, which is not yet materialized, but it can happen. It has a potential to occur, but it has not yet happened, right? So once it has happened, it is termed as AI incident, and depending upon the severity, we call it as AI disaster or severe AI incidents, right? So how do we scale it up? So EU AI Act and MIT risk repository, they have some scaling measures. So if there is a financial loss of more than $10,000, they state it to be a very severe financial loss, like a high risk financial loss. So should we have a similar scale in India? That's the most fundamental question here. So for a people who is actually in a low income background and all, even losing 100 rupees is a high risk thing for them. So how do we contextualize it here is another question, which requires a lot of risk assessment and quantification metrics and methodologies to come up in the Indian context. So how do we collect all these incidents? So in general, we have a lot of grievance reporting systems and mechanisms in place for all other technologies and services. So how do we do it for AI systems? The most fundamental question is that we should know whether we are using an AI system or not. And there is no disclosures that is mandated for AI systems, rather than Indian government has come up with an amendment or a guideline which says that you have to disclose that your AI outcome or any of the service that you're delivering is AI powered, kind of watermarking technologies for deepfake videos and other things, right? So those things are there, but AI is being part of the service is not yet mandated. So that is one big question. And for the international context, we have all these databases which are a collective source for all the AI incidents that is happening around the globe, but none of these are standardized. So everyone has a different structure, a different program committee, or a governance structure which are mostly voluntary based. There is no government headed or UN headed. Only the OECD thing is based on the G20 communities that are voluntarily coming and working on all these incident monitoring mechanisms. Apart from that, we don't have any standardized systems. All these things are part of research works that people are undertaking. Yeah. So for India, we have, yeah, you can come up next. So as part of the India AI Safety Institute that was announced recently, we actually thought of coming up with an AI incident reporting center which can run and manage all the AI incidents that happens in India. But for that, should we actually follow the same model that the international agents are following? So we actually had some basic consultations and discoveries of how AI incidents should be happening in India, and how do we report it, and how do we manage it and all. So people who are interested can go through it. Yeah, next. Yeah, you can. So these are all some policies in India which talks about AI consumers. Basically, the Consumer Protection Act should have AI specific amendments, but I think there is more collaboration that is required from the perspective of domain regulators as well. So if I am a consumer of an healthcare service, just the consumer board cannot give me all solutions. Rather, ICMR should come in and play some role to categorize whether this is a high-risk incident or not. So what is a redressal time or a resolution time? So if the EU AI Act has some kind of timelines for incident redressals. So if there is a life loss that has happened because of an AI system, they should resolve it in next 8 days after reporting. So we don't have such timelines here. Similarly, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act does not talk about AI-specific requirements, but we are contextualizing it to AI systems and aligning it to the issues that we face in AI. Yeah. So governance guidelines is all about voluntary frameworks and self-regulations from the industries, and how do we cater it to the human-centric point of deploying AI systems and all. Yeah. That's it. These are all the 7 sutras that focus on how to make it safe and responsible and trustworthy for the consumer's perspective. So you can take a detailed look going through the governance guidelines of India. Yeah, DPDP Act for AI stakeholders, it has a lot of things about how do we use data, how do we get consent from the data principles, how do we ensure that the data utilization is minimized based on the intent for which the data is collected and all. Yeah, largely these are all the things. So at CeRAI, we do work on a lot of other things apart from policy research to make AI understandable, safe for the society, as well as evaluating AI systems from the Indian context. Yeah. So finally, this is a conclusion. As an AI user, we don't expect people or the deployers to assess AI outcomes. Rather than we should be self-aware of all the AI decisions that come to us, and then do some self-assessment and then validate its relevance, and then make the decisions accordingly. As a practitioner who is now developing or who is researching or who is deploying, they should assess the potential harms and ensure safety and trustworthiness of all these AI systems that are being deployed. Yeah.